So here is our app that is named Local. We haven't really been creative in naming it, but we have done a good job. We believe we have done a good job with it. The motivation that we got for making this kind of application is basically we asked ourselves the question, what kind of an application would be great in for us to use? What kind of an application would we like to use? Well, I like to socialize and do various outdoor activities and visit different places. Uh, I would love an app which would show up something that is related to my activities. I would like to know what the weather is at a certain place, what events are going on at a certain place, and also what are the news events at that particular place. This app allows me to select a location manually or based on my choice of home location. So let us see how the app actually works. So we are now going to start the app. This is the icon for our application. I'm just going ahead and clicking it. As you can see, this is our welcome screen. It will basically welcomes you to the app and gives you a brief description of what the app actually is. It says find out where you are, what's going around you, and how the weather around you is, and much more. If you focus down here, there are fields for username and password, which obviously mean there's going to be some login and registration features along with it. It's not really visible right now, but this green button right here is the login button, and this green button right here is the button where you can register as a new user. Well, if you are in a bit of a hurry and would like to go ahead and use this application as a guest, we allow that feature as well. This huge button down here allows you to progress as a guest and use the application with limited capabilities. This very small button down there is the exit button, and it takes you back to your menu list. So if I press it, it's going to take me back to the menu list. Now let me start the app back again.
As we see here, this is a login page, and we have your login fields over here. We have an option to log in, we have an option to register, and we have an option to continue with that login. We'll be exploring all these three options. Let's start with the register option over here. As we see, we have four fields over here to enter a username, to enter a password, to re-enter a password. Like these two fields should be the same. This is the zip code. The reason why we have introduced this field over here is to keep a track of users' home location in the database. This will be used in a weather application. When we check out the weather, it will show the weather of both the locations, home location as well as the current location where the user is currently residing in. We'll start entering the values for this field now. The username, this is a unique field. This should not be repeated. It will first check whether the username is in the database or not. If it is in the database, the same username is not allowed to be entered over here. First we'll try to just hit register when there are blank fields. As you see, it will give you an error over here. You cannot leave either fields blank. We hit OK. We'll start with the now. We have one user over here named Swap that is already registered. We'll try registering the same username again. We'll enter the password. We'll enter the zip code over here and hit register. As we see over here again, there is a error box over there which states username exists, please enter a different username. We again do a different kind of validation over here. We'll try entering say swap1. Now this is a new user, we have not registered this user, but now we'll fill out two different fields for the password fields over here. Say first I enter PP, and in the confirm password field I enter say PA. Now these fields mismatch, and when I click register, it will again show you an error message saying password mismatch. We hit OK over here. Now I'll show you the validation for the zip code field. No characters, as we know, should be allowed in the zip code field. I enter the right passwords over here, say P, and I try entering one character over here, say 1 2 3 4 and A. I hit register. It will again give you a dialog box showing improper zip code. I hit OK. Now we'll try entering all the fields correctly. Say the home location of this user is say 02043. The zip code of the home location is say 02043. I hit register over here. It successfully logs in and goes to the main activity. I'll first exit this screen just to show you the validation which we have done in the login screen, the main login screen over here. As we see, we'll try to enter the same user ID that we just entered now. We just registered this user ID, swap1, and we'll try to enter a wrong password over here, say ASD or something, which is a wrong password. I'll hit login and then it gives me an error message mentioning either username or password entered is wrong. I hit OK and now I try to enter the right password, PP. I log in over here. It successfully logs in, and now as we see there are various fields over here. This is the field which shows its address. Here we have used reverse geocoding. We have used network services to find out the latitude and longitude of the current location, which is converted to the address. We find out the address using reverse geocoding. As we see, the current location zip code over here is 28262. But at the time of registration, if you remember, I have entered the home location zip code as 02043. That's why it shows you a small message down over here that you are away from your home location. Click below to make this your home location. If I click on this green button, small green button down there, it will make this location, the 28262 location, its home location, and it will store it into the database. First, we'll try keeping this the same scenario, and I'll show you the various activities. As we see, if we slide left over here, we come to know about the current weather. If we slide right over here, we come to know what's going on around us, that is the events, the local events around us. If I slide up, it shows us the local news, and also it also gives us the option of the global news, which we'll be exploring for further. When I slide down, it will give you the show you the our location on the map. To the map activity over here first. When we slide down, it shows us where we are actually on the globe. I slide down and it shows us the map activity. It shows us where exactly we are on the map. When I click this marker, it will give you a message over here, you are here. I go back and I'll also show you the weather activity now. As we know, there are two different locations. There is the home location, which is different than the current location, which is 28262. When I go to the weather activity, it will show you two different weathers, weather at your current location and weather at your home location. We have used the weather.com API over here. It basically shows you different fields: temperature, what it feels like, humidity, what the wind is like, wind direction, and what's the exact weather. It's raining. So even at the home location, it will show you the same fields over here. Obviously the home location weather over here, it shows a different weather over here. I'll slide back for it to go to the main activity. Now we are back to our welcome screen over here. I'll show you a small interesting property over here. As I showed you before, it shows you a message, you are away from your location. We have an option of making this location, the 28262 location, as our home location. When I click over here, it will set this location as our home location, and now you see the small message, you are at your home location. Now when I slide it to the weather activity, it will just show you one single weather, which is our current location weather, because now the home location and the current location is the same. It doesn't need to show two different locations weather. I slide back and it enters to the welcome activity. We are back to our main activity over here, welcome screen. Now I'll show you the two interesting features, the main features of this app apart from the weather. We have just seen the weather. I'll also show you the local news and the local events which are going on around in this area. When we slide up, it will show us the local news. I slide up and it's loading the local news over here. It's a list of 10. I have limited this list to 10 items because I didn't want to the loading time to go to infinity. So it will show you the top 10 news in our local area. It shows the news of Charlotte. There are 3 different fields in every list item. There is a title, there is a date, and wherever the writer or the author of the news, the reporter of the news is mentioned, it also shows us the reporter's name. As we see, there are 10 different news, and I try clicking on one of the news activities over here. Now it will show us the news activity over here, which will show it will show us the description of the news in detail over here. This is not the full description, but we give the user an option to view the full description by clicking over here. When the user clicks on this button, it will go to the actual website, the actual hyperlink, and it will show you the user the whole news. So the user in this way can read the whole news. After reading, you can go back, and then we are again back over here. This is just a kind of a small description of the news over here. I hit cancel. Same things happens for the other news, and there is a small button over here which says global news. So we have basically 2 options over here. This is the local news, and when I click on global news, it will show what's happening around the world. We have used the same API over here. We have used NYTimes API for both the news activities. This is the global news. Again, the same way I click over here, it will show you a small description over here. When I click over here, it will go to the website, news website, and it will show the news in detail. I click back, click cancel. I have an option to again go back to the local news over here. I click on local news. It will go to the local news. Back to our main screen. When I slide right over here, we can see the local events what are going around our area right now. I slide right, and it will show you a list of different categories of events. When we click on any category, it will show you the related events related to that category. For example, if I want to see the education related events, it will load the events, and now we see there are 2 events over here which are related to education. I go back and I hit on any other categories. For example, if I don't want to refine my search, I just want to see all the events regardless of any category. I just click on all events, and it will show us all the events over here. Again, I have limited this list to 10 items as the loading time should not go to infinity. I just wanted to limit it to 10 items. In the events, it shows the main title of the event, where exactly the exact address of the location of the event, and when does it start on, at what time and when does it start on. When I click on the event, it will give the small short description of the event over here. It's pretty brief description of the event. If the user wishes to go to the to register for the event or do anything, you can click over here. There is a button over here mentioning click here to open in browser. When I click on that button, it opens the same event in the browser. Now we see the options of find tickets and all. He can basically register for that event. He can do whatever he wants. Here I have the map option. Now this is an interesting option. We saw the address of the event, but if the user also wants to see where exactly the event is, where exactly the click on this button, and we can view the event where it's located on the map. As we see over here, it's located over here, and when I tap on this, it will show you the exact name of the address where the event is located. Now we go back and we can do the same things for different events. This is a different event. Now if I want to view where it is, I click on the map icon over there and it will again show you where it is. This is our event activity. It's pretty interesting activity. The main thing about it is user can refine his search of events, based on these categories. So if a user is not interested in looking at all events, he just wants to view what are technology events or science events, he can just click on science and view those events, register for those events by going to the website directly from there, view those events on the map where they are located. So this is basically our event activity.
We have seen all the features of the app. I'll just talk briefly about things that we have actually used here. We have used APIs, namely the weather.com API, the New York Times API, and the Eventful API for this app. We have used JSON parsing for getting data from the API. We have also used the gesture detection swipe feature for the user to interact with the application. For storing user data and updating all the user data, we have also used SQLite, which sits locally on the app. Well, with that, I'd like to conclude the presentation and would like to tell you that